Hello, colleagues. Good afternoon. Is it yet time? Thank you.
Reactions. Let me see your reactions in the comment section. Okay, so welcome everybody again. So yesterday, uh, we've learned a lot since this series has started. So I'm very sure that people that have stayed with us from the very first day, they can be very proud that they know one or two things with Microsoft Excel. Yesterday we learned about advanced functions in Microsoft Excel where we look at logical operators and advanced lookups. So we tried extensively on the X lookup, and I promised us that today we'll continue our class with the H and V lookup for people who were not able to use the X lookup on their Microsoft Excel because probably it is older versions. So get to let us get to work. Okay. So today our main class is based on statistical analysis and Excel add-ins. But before I go to the main class, we'll go and look at the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP, and then we'll come back to the class. Okay, so allow me to go to the link where you can find the data set. So we are going to be using the same data set as we used yesterday. So just open your Microsoft Excel, get the data there. Once your data is there, let me know. I'll do the same thing too. I'll open my Excel and get my data into my Excel. So we are both ready for the class on the same page. So let me know in the comment section once you have done that. Dropping the link to the data set on the chat tool for who want to copy and paste. Yeah, so guys, I'm having a little problem bringing up my Excel. Please permit me. Just give me a minute. Stay on the call. Give me a minute. Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm sorry about that. I had to make sure my Excel is working. So allow me to share my screen again. Okay, now you should be able to see my screen, and I uploaded the data that I'll be using for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So this is going to be like a practical class before we go to the slide that I have for us today, which is statistical analysis with Microsoft Excel. So thank you everybody. I'm really sorry about that. My Excel was misbehaving, so I had to like sort it out and make sure that the class is ready. I was trying to open the document and it was saying not responding. So I had to. So welcome everybody. So by now your data should be loaded. If you have not downloaded the data, just follow the link that I'm about to drop so that we are all on the same page. Just copy this link and paste it in your browser. This is the same data that we used yesterday. So for people that are able to download it yesterday, you can just import the data. And for those who are not able to download it, the link has been dropped. You can just click the link, download the data, and import the lookup sheet, import the lookup sheet, import the lookup sheet. So if you have done that, if your data is ready, let me know in the comment section so we can go straight to VLOOKUPs and HLOOKUPs. So if your data is ready, let me know. Yeah, the link is in the chat already, Victor. The link is in the chat already. Yeah, thank you very much. I can see good to go. I can see good to go. Somebody saying that we should paste the link again, and somebody is ready. So let's just wait 1 more minute while I wait for those who are asking for the link again to download the data. Yeah, so this is for the sake of people who don't have XLOOKUP in their Microsoft Excel. So we are going to be taking this very quickly. Okay, so VLOOKUP, like I said yesterday, stands for vertical lookup, meaning that it allows us to look for data in a column vertically, in a column. While HLOOKUP allows us to look for data horizontally in a row across rows. It allows us to look for data across rows. While VLOOKUP allows us to look for data in a column. So this is how it works. So let me write my VLOOKUP function here. But before I write the function, let us ask ourselves, what do we want to do? So let's say we want to look vertically, look for, let's look for a name very down here. Look for this name. Let's look for Chine, or let's look for Yusuf Musa. That's a very short name. I can remember that very easily. Let's look for Yusuf Musa. So we are looking for Yusuf Musa on the vertically, and we want to return another corresponding vertical answer. Say we want to return is physics test. It's physics test. So let us come here and say, let's specify name here. Let's call this name. And the name we want to look for is Yusuf Musa. And then we want to return physics test. So that should be physics. Score in physics. So we can go on like that. And then this will be where the score will be printed. So if the score will be printed here, it means that I can write my function here. So let's write the function here. I've selected the cell and I want to type into it. So I'm doing a vertical lookup. So I'm doing equal to, remember this is vertical lookup and we say V lookup. So suggesting for me, I can press tab. I can press tab. So V lookup is there. Now I told you that Excel will like guide you through writing each function you want to write. So the first argument that Excel brought up for us here is lookup value. What do we want to look up? So because I want my lookup to be dynamic, like I want to be able to change the name and all, So I'll just click this cell that contains the name. So I want to look for Yusuf Musa, which is that has repeated itself 2 times. I want to clear it, it's supposed to be just 1 time. Yeah, so that is I3. My name is on I3. So the next thing for me to insert is my table range. So it is very important for us to know that when we are using VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and the match function, they take in table range. They take in table range. It is only the XLOOKUP that takes in column range and row range. But for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, they takes in table range. And the reason is because you can actually do this in another sheet or in another workbook entirely. So we're able to specify a table that we want to do. So here I'll specify my table range, which is the entirety of this table. So my table starts from names, first one. And remember to go to the end of our data, we can use Control Shift End. Control Shift End. So it has picked up my I cell and my subject cell. So I'll just go to the end of this data. So this is my table range that I want to select, and that selects it for me. It says all. Like that is what it understands by all. But for people that want to type it in, our data starts from A1 and it ends at F86. So let us do the same thing. So people that want to type it in. So let me clear this lookup all. So I'm going to type in my data range, A1, my table range from A1 to F86. Now, I want to do something here that I did not do yesterday, and I want us to follow through. You remember that this is my table, and it is not changing. So if I want to reference a data that is not changing, that is called absolute referencing. And then I can make absolute referencing by putting a $sign. So in Excel, I know my table is not going to change. The only thing that will change is my lookup value. So I'll make that relative. My table is my table, it doesn't change. Anytime I want to look for something, I'm looking at this table the way it is from A1 to F86. It's not moving. So I will make it absolute reference. And to make absolute reference, the shortcut is F4. So you just press F4. If your laptop needs you to press the function key before you press F4, press the function key. So this is on my own laptop, I have to press the function key and then press F4. You see that it will automatically give it an absolute referencing, So that way my table does not change. So I come to A1 to I give it absolute referencing F4. So my table is my table for this function. And then the next thing I'll do is my column index number. Now, yesterday I was trying to explain that vertical lookup is vertical because it understands your table by index. The first column is index 1, the second column is index 2, the third column is index 3, the fourth column is index 4, the fifth column is index 5, uh, the sixth column is indexes, and we are looking for physics, and that will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is index 5. So I specify index 5. Then the next thing is to specify the lookup range. So here it is important, and this is the reason why it was returning not available yesterday. We have to specify the kind of lookup that we want to make. So if I've specified my lookup value, I've specified my table range, I've specified my index number, I have to specify my lookup, my range lookup. You know, this is an optional argument because it is a square bracket. But I have to specify the number ranges from 0 to 2. Minus from 0 to 2. 0 actually stands for return exactly what is there. Return exactly what is there. So I'm going to put 0. I'll explain more on that later. So if I close this and I put enter, you can see that it returns 91 for Yusuf Musa. So in this column, we have been able to successfully use vertical lookup to return the physics score for Yusuf Musa. And Let me check. Okay, so someone wants me to repeat the absolute referencing. Um, so I'm going to do that again. I'll do that again when we are looking at the H lookup. So I hope you understand the syntax of the VLOOKUP now. So what I will do now is that I'll change the name of this guy and see if it will return the corresponding value. So we are going with Emi Tope Ajayi, and our score in physics is 97. So we change this name because it is a relative reference name. So I'll change the name of this guy to Emi Tope Ajayi. That is Ajayi. And you can see that it has returned 97 for us. It has returned 97 for us. So this is actually how we do absolute. I mean, this is how we do VLOOKUP. Now I want to look up horizontally. I want to look up horizontally. So this H lookup is actually quite technical because it requires us to specify the header at the second or the first row so that it should be able to read it. Whatever we are looking at, that it requires that we specify it in the first or the second row because your lookup value has to be somewhere here so that it can look at it according to like row-wise correspondence. So it's not like it is really necessary for our lookup value to be on the second row or on the first row. The reason why it is necessary is because I don't want to go through all the rows and specify row 65 for me to look at it. This is important if our table is arranged horizontally. So let us look at that. So I want to use the H lookup now to return what can I use it? What can I use it to return? Okay, I can still use it to return subjects. So let me write it and then let me write it. So follow us as we go through. So we'll be repeating the absolute referencing here again. So so we can start with let's say let me just write it under here. So equal to H lookup now. H lookup now. So it is very similar with VLOOKUP. So if you come here, you see saying lookup value. What do you want me to look up? Now, the lookup value, this is the reason why it is like always important for us to specify it either in the first or the second. Because by the time I pick my lookup value, it has to correspond with my row index. And I'll explain that. So I'm picking now the okay, let me use number two, Adebayo Olatunji. So I'm picking Adebayo Olatunji as my row, as the row I want to look up for. And it is very important that this guy that I want to look up for is at the beginning of the column. Is it the first guy in the first column? I cannot come and pick a lookup value from the middle. You understand? So I need to pick a lookup value for each lookup at the very beginning. So I'll say look up for Adebayo Olatunji. So I'll look up for him. And then I'll say, where should I look? Which is my table array. Now my table array, remember how we select the whole table array? We select our first entry and then we go to the end, so we can use Ctrl Shift down now, so we don't have to stress ourselves. So like that, I have selected my whole table. And like we did the other time, we can as well type it in. But I want to show us something. So absolute referencing. I've selected my data range. I can press F4. F4 is what I want to press. So what I'm explaining is that most of the time, our laptop requires us to hold down the function key, Fn on your laptop, it's called function key, to activate the function, or else it will probably increase your brightness or increase your volume. That means depending on what your laptop is configured to do. Because the function is like an underlying function. we have to hold the function key down and press F4. So like that, it has done absolute referencing. So, but for sake of like beginning or for sake of we are just learning Excel, let us type it in. So I want to clear the way it's typed it for me. And I want to say my data range from, I'll use dollar for absolute reference. First thing is dollar sign, A1. Remember our data start from A1. So A first, then dollar again, then one. That is absolute. Then put column to indicate the range. Then we have dollar again, we have F, we have dollar again, and then we have 86. So what I've just done now is absolute referencing. Absolute referencing. So the next thing is the row index number. So which row do I want to return? The row I want to return is actually this same row too, because that is where I want to look. I'm searching in a row. So that is why it is important for me that the row that I specify in the board must correspond to the row that I want to look up for. So it is easy for us to use specify row 2 as our lookup value so that we know that this is the index is the first one is the ones that have the headings. The second one is the one that have Adebayo Olatunji, which is our second row index. So I'll just put 2. And then we have to specify if it should return the exact number that is there. So allow me to explain these options for us. If I put -1, -1 will return it will round it up lower. If I put 0, 0 will return the exact value. If I put 1, 1 will round it up higher. If I put 2, 2 simply means that I want to use a white card, like we used white card for X lookup yesterday. So instead of me rounding it up, I want to return the exact score. So I'll put 0 and then I'll close it. So let's see what this does. So this is saying not available. So what I will do here is that I've specified my table range, I've specified my column range. I want to change this guy to Adebayo. Adebayo, Olatunji, and I want to run it again. So same thing. So okay, allow me to check this. So I've already edited it, which is not allowed to do. So I want to do something very quickly. That's what I want it to. Um, this guy, we do this table range, and pattern under index two. Let me put first here. So we can see options here. So this is saying false. Return the exact match. So I don't know why it's saying not available after the. I don't know why it's saying not available. Okay, okay, I think I know what to do. So we are looking up for, we should be looking up for probably, yes, we are looking up for this guy. I.  'Cause. 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 ' Let me write him out here. Let me write his name here. Adebayo Olatunji, so that I can specify as I2. So I2. So I'm looking for I2 under a as the same job. So actually, each lookup is quite technical because of you have to make it a row, you have to make it the first entry in a column. So me personally, I don't like each lookup. I don't use it. I prefer X lookup whenever I want to return all these kind of values. So I'll just show us index and match. I'll just show us index and match so that we can move on to what we have for today. Actually, this is the correct way to write it before. I don't know why it is not returning the correct answer. So let us just go to index. So like I said, let us learn match first, and then we learn index later. Match, we match with a table. Match, we match your lookup value and return the position of whatever you are looking for. So if you have your Excel, if you have your sheet open, you can write along with me. So if you have match is equal to match, and the first thing that I will specify is a lookup value. What do we want to look up for? What do we want to look up for? So let's say I want to look up for um Adebayo Olatunji now. I want to look up for Adebayo Olatunji. So in my lookup array, so my lookup array is actually my table. So the entire table. So I'll highlight the entire table. And then the next thing I'm supposed to specify is, do I want to look for Adebayo Olatunji in the exact way? So I can specify 0 as my exact match. So why? So saying Adebayo Olatunji is not available, this guy is here. Look up for him in the entire table. Okay, let me specify my range again. Okay, yeah, I think I understand why that returned error. So I want to look up for him under this column. So I specify it from A1 to A86. From A1 to A86. Yeah, we can see that it has given us 2. Means that this guy is on row 2. So match does not work for entire table. It works only for the column. So we are looking for Adebayo Olatunji under row 2. I hope you understand. And I think the same mistake is what happened for this guy here. Instead of specifying the entire table, I think we're supposed to specify, look for him under a particular row or under a particular column. So no, but this is correct. This is correct actually. But this is how to use match function. So this match function now, you can use it together with the index function, like I mentioned yesterday. So the link to the data set, for those that are just joining us, we dropped again. So the link to the data set is exactly the Yeah, apologies, that was the network problem. So I'll be sharing my screen again. Uh, okay, so we are here now. Yeah, okay. So I think this is actually correct for, okay, well done, Omo, well done, Omo. Yeah, I don't know how the reason why mine wasn't working. I don't know the reason why mine wasn't working. So yeah, what I was explaining is, suppose we have Jide Ajala in my class. I know he's my student, and I want to return his biology score, and I don't want to go through this whole list. So I can first of all return the position of Jide Ajala. So that will allow me to, like, if I change this guy, which is I2, I specified Adebayo Ajala here. Adebayo Olatunji, I can actually change him to Jide Ajala. And you see Jide Ajala is on number 58. So with knowing that Jide Ajala is on number 58, I can combine it with the index formula. So if I combine it with the index formula will return the exact value that I want. So the index formula, this is how it works. It allows us to say equal to index. So the first thing it takes the array, which is the column. It takes the column. So which column do I want to return? So I want to return biology because I'm actually looking at biology. So I want to return its biology score. So I can specify biology. So that is from like D2 to D1 to D86. D2 to D86, followed by the index number of what I want to return. I want to return index number 58, and then I can press enter. So you see, it brought out Jide Ajala's score for me, even without going down to the list. So how do I combine index and match together? So I can just come here and edit this. So this is how we do it. Okay, let me not edit it. Instead, let me write another one. So I can say, first of all, I start with index equal to index. I open my bracket, and then I can say, oh, instead of my index now, I'm looking for biology. So I specify biology from here to the end. So that does biology for me. And then I put a comma. So instead of me writing the number, I can just write a match function, and I'll say match. Match what? Match this name array. Match this name array. So it will match this A guys. So this A guys start from name. Let me write A1 to A86. That is not what I intend to write. A1 to A86. Yeah, A1 to A86. And then I want to, what should it look up for? So it's going to be looking up for Jide Ajala. So instead of me writing Jide Ajala, I'll just click on Jide Ajala here. And then I want to return exactly what is there. So I'll put 0. So we have A1, Jide Ajala, which is the cell number, and 0. So I close the bracket for match, and then I close the bracket for index. So if you press enter, okay, so we have an error there. So let us see why we have an error there. So now let us see why we have an error. Okay, so let us try it again. We have index, open brackets, array number, which is the range from A1 to A86, comma, which index number do we want it to return? So we specify match instead of an index number, because we know that match will return index number for us. So the lookup value is Jide Ajala. which is fine. So lookup array now is supposed to be A1 to A86, which is actually our lookup array. And then we can specify that it should look up for 0, which is exact match. So we close this bracket for match, and then we can close the bracket for lookup 2. Yeah. So it's returning GD Ajala when it's supposed to return the, yeah, it's returning GD Ajala when it's supposed to return the score. That is because our lookup value now is I2. No, it's not supposed to return GD Ajala. This ordinarily will return GD Ajala. So this one too will return GD Ajala. So we are supposed to specify the range of the score here, which is biology. So change A to D. So look into D and look for A. Look into D and look for A. So you can see that it's returning 82 for GD Ajala. So if I change GD Ajala to Yusuf Adeleke, which is number 4 person on the list. So you see that that will work. So Yusuf Adeleke biology, and that is 18. That is 18. That is 18. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. If you get the use of index and match, let me see your reaction. Although with XLOOKUP, the use of index, match, VLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP is very straightforward. It doesn't take all the whole stress, all the whole stress. So thank you, Kazim. Thank you, Kazim. So thank you, everybody. So let's move on to today's main work. So I'll duplicate this sheet. So if you want to duplicate a sheet, come to the name of the sheet, right click. When you right click and then you see move or copy. In your Excel, it might be duplicate. Just click on move or copy. So it's saying to book 5. The name of my workbook is book 5, and I want to like copy it. I don't want to move it. So I'll select the same workbook and I'll say create a copy. I have to create a copy, move to the end, yes. So it has created another workbook for me. So let me stop sharing and share my slides so that we can quickly look at what we have for today and come back and run some statistical analysis. For the what will I call it now? The latest data scientist and data analyst, next rated in town. Uh, okay, so allow me to stop sharing and share my Excel screen. Okay, so welcome everybody again. I hope you can see my slide. So statistical analysis and hands-on in Excel. So in this class, we are going to be introducing you to statistical functions in Excel. We'll demonstrate and explore relative statistical tools and function alongside with Excel add-ins for data analytics. So these are the things you should prepare your mind to learn today. You'll be learning statistical functions, how to apply statistical functions, what are add-ins in Excel, and the practical use of add-ins. So you see, we really don't have time to cover up everything. So let's move very fast. So what are statistical functions? So Excel is well known for its widespread use and versatility in statistical applications. Like during introduction on the first day, I told you that almost every workspace and business employs the use of Excel. So, and this is because of its versatility. It is versatile, it is broad. You can use it for like a whole lot of things. So Excel functions and tools can be used to execute statistical operations, ranging from our ranging from the simple statistics, mean, median, mode, measures of central dispersion, measure of central tendency. Excel can help us do those things, to the advanced statistics, like, all these distributive statistics, like linear regression, correlation analysis, time series, analysis of variance. Excel can do all those. So whenever we select the range of cell that allows a descriptive statistics, Excel presents us with statistical overview of that range at the status bar. Yeah, so that's like the first way to like understand our data. So if you have a numeric data, like from where we are coming from, the Excel sheet we are coming from, if you look at the image that's to the uh to the right of this screen now, you can see like a statistical overview under the screen, the average, the count, the sum. So Excel presents us with a quick statistical overview of our data whenever we highlight a descriptive data. So if you have even if you highlight a range of text, it will still tell you the count. So, and this has more options than just seeing the average, the count, and so on. If you option click on it, I believe you all have your Excel sheet open. If you right click on it, you see more options like minimum, maximum, numerical count, and you can actually customize the status bar of your Excel sheet. So probably somebody just asked you, like an analyst, somebody just asked you that how many, probably you are like the other day that we did a customer feedback analysis, like for the data cleaning and manipulation. Probably you just download the data and somebody asks you, so how many feedback do we have? You don't have to like start writing equal to counts or into bracket something. Just highlight the whole data. Excel will present it for you under it. Like this now, there are 84 numbers, 84 different numbers in this highlighted cell. And I know that the first one is containing the heading. So I'll just minus one and say, so this exam score now is for that is for 83 people. Is for 83 people. So if I want to know the average of people that did the average score of all the students that took mathematics, I will just highlight the cell, the column rather, and then it presents the average score for me. I don't need to start writing equal to average or equal to something. So that is like the first statistical presentation in Excel. So we also have other functions that allows for statistical functions. We can specify statistical operation, like we can specify the ones that we want in the formula bar and write it as a function. So there are over 100 statistical functions that we can write in Excel. Well, I have tried to like point out the common ones that are used for statistics, and we can learn them together. So just mention some of them, I'll explain them. So when we get to like open Excel again, we can try out some and we can learn how to work. So the first one is the mean. The mean is also like the average. So when you select the data, you can return the mean. So can return the mean. So it calculates the arithmetic mean of its arguments. So this is how to write it on the right side, equal to, you specify the range of the data you want to calculate the mean. Also the median. The median is like find the middle data. So the median is it allows us to find the median of the data, the very data that is in the middle. And this median function, it has already taken into consideration the order of arrangement. If you remember our maths very well, they tell you that before you do median, you have to arrange it in ascending order or descending order. So Excel does not require you to like first of all sort your data before you find the mean. No. Once you select your data range, Excel understands that you are doing median. So it puts into consideration the order of the arrangement. So we also have the mode. The mode is the highest occurring entry in a range of data, that is highest occurring frequency. This is also called frequency. Like you can also use frequency function to find the mode. So, but the best and specific way to find the mode is to use the mode function. So there are two ways to find the mode. That is to see why you see two functions here. The first one is like the acceptable ones, the most common one. So the first one allows you to specify mode and return a single value. So it allows you to specify mode and return a single value, and that single value is going to be the highest occurring number. So somebody will say, what if the highest occurring number is 2? Probably in my data, I have people that scored 80, they are 10. And then I also have people that scored 87, they are also 10. You see that we have two mode there because the highest occurring number for there are two. It is 8, it is 90 and 87. So if you want to return a single one, you can specify mode.single, which is SNGL. It will return the first one. That is probably the way your data is arranged. It will return the first one that appears. And then the second one, which is mode.multi, will return both modes that have the highest occurring frequency. So Excel also have the standard deviation. So the standard deviation, we have standard deviation.s. The S that you see there stands for sample. So that is in statistics, we have this thing called sample data and population data. A sample data is like a chunk of the bigger data. Say probably you want to take a survey from, you want to make a survey on Nigeria. You cannot go ahead and start asking questions from every single person in Nigeria. What we are going to do is that we are going to create a sample cluster. There are different ways by creating sample. There's random, there's cluster, or all those ones like you can learn them probably, this course does not end now. At the end of this course, you'll be given license to use data camp. So you can learn like conveniently at your pace. If you love Excel, you can choose to learn Excel with data camp. So it will introduce you to all these sampling and population that I have mentioned. So this is what we are trying to say now. The S is actually for sample. Like, okay, let me use this example. So if you go and buy Gary, I know most of you know Gary, you ask for the person that is your Gary fine. If they say it's fine, you say, give me sample. So the sample is like, okay, just taste so that you can know how the whole of the Gary is. It's not as if they tell you that for you to confirm that the whole Gary is fine, you have to eat the whole Gary. You can actually conclude that the whole Gary is fine from the small one that they will give you to taste. And that small one that they give you to taste is called the sample. So dot S is sample. So we can find standard deviation dot sample, and then we specify the range at which we want to look for the range of our values. We also have the variance. So the variance also allows us to like quickly find the variance of a range of values. So that one is also var.s. So we have standard deviation, and then we also have variance. So we also have the count all. I included this count all, if you remember very well, when we're learning basic functions in Microsoft Excel, we learned about the count and the count all. I also brought this count all back because most of the statistical formulas that we have, they employ the count all function. If you remember formula for mean, you see mean is equal to summation of f of x all over n. The n is the number of counts, yes or no? And then if you want to get the number of counts, we always employ the count all function. So that is the reason why you can see that the count all is also classified under statistical functions. So let us move very quickly. So the next one is the quartile. The quartile. Yeah, when we're introducing ourselves to box and whisker plots, I tried to mention that this one measures the first quartile and the second quartile. So for us to understand the quartile is a quartile simply means dividing a range of values into four. It will sort it in ascending or descending order. It will not divide it into four equal parts. So those four equal parts, the first half is the first quartile, the second part is the second quartile, the third part is the third quartile, the fourth part is the fourth quartile. So how do we find quartile? Somebody will say there's INC. in this quarter? What is INC doing when it is not incorporated? It is not, it is not an incorporated business. It is actually standing for inclusive. Inclusive. So there's something about quartile and percentile, actually. Quartile and percentile. Percentile divides a number into percent. Like it can return 1% of the data, it can return 2% of the data, it can return 3%, it can return 75%, it can return 10%. Why quarter? We only return the quarter, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So you can specify the range and then specify. You see these two that is here. It's telling us that I want to return the second quarter. Second quarter. Why for the percentile? You see this thing that I wrote at 0.60, actually specifying that I want to return the 60th percentage of this data. And it is also important for us to note that this particular quartile and percentile, they return position values. They return position values. So it's not as if it will return the sum of the first quartile or the count of the first quartile. It is going to return the position at which the first quartile is. So that is how we can, that is what quartile and percentile does. I hope I've not been teaching statistics. The aim is actually to teach Excel. So we have min and max. Min is the minimum value and max is the maximum value. So when we combine min and max together, it can be used to find the range of a specified value, like can be used to find the range value of a specified list of cells. So, the mean, oh, so this formula is actually wrong. It's supposed to be max minus mean. I wrote mean minus max. Probably I was rushing to prepare for the class, so my mind was not in everything. So it's supposed to be max minus mean. So if you have the maximum value minus the minimum value, it will return the range of values for you. So you also have the small and the large. The small, so the attendance link will be dropped every 15 minutes. Like now that it's 2 o'clock, attendance list will be dropped every 15 minutes until it is 3 o'clock. Thank you very much. We also have the small and the large. So if the mean will return the smallest number, what if I want to return the third number before the smallest number? Or I want to return the third number before the largest number. So in Excel, you can write is equal to small, specify your range. So if I put 3, it will return the third number before the smallest number. If I write equal to large into bracket C from C to C20, it will return the third number before the largest number. So here I said it identifies nth largest or the least number within a data set, revealing how high or how low an outlier can be based on their position. So we can use this to like monitor outliers. We remember very well from the ordinary. So let's say in a math test, there's somebody that scored 99. And then the other person is the highest. And then the next person that scored highest now scored 43. So 43, the next person that scored highest again scored 42. So if I do max, it will return 99 for me. But if I want to know what the next person scored, I have to do large. I'll specify my range like C2 to C20, and then I'll write comma 2. So comma 2 will be like, oh, the second person that scored highest. So it will return it for me. So if I now see that first person scored 99, second person scored 43, that is like a very big difference. And the person that scored 99 is an outlier because it does not belong to that class. Like he's too genius for the class. So imagine somebody scoring 99 in a math test. So he's like too genius for the class. So he's an outlier. So that is what that is telling us. So we can also go ahead and do some advanced statistics using statistical function. Like I said, they are up to like a 120. We can do correlation. Correlation, check the correlation between two data range, like, and return a value between -1 and 0. -1 mean that they don't correlate at all. They are very different. And one means that they actually correlate. That is, they are moving in the same direction. So if I have English and I have math, and I do correlation of English and math, and they correlate, it's actually telling me that the way people passed English is the same way people passed math, or the way people failed math is the same way people failed English. And that is what we can use correlation function for. And to write correlation function, can say B2 to B20, that is the first column, then the next column, B2 to C2 to C20. That is how correlation works. We can also check distribution. So distribution calculates the probability of a value falling within a normal distribution. Like, a normal distribution means that this stuff is actually normal. This event that has happened is normal. Say in a class, the normal distribution of people passing a math test can actually be that the people that scored between 40 to 70. So between 40 to 70 is normal. So we have 0 to 39 is not normal. We can also have 71 to 100 is not normal. Like, it is super normal, so it's not normal. So from 30 to 70 is actually normal. So we can use this to check if a particular data falls under a normal distribution. So if we have 20, someone that scored 29, normal distribution does not actually specify that should be within those numbers. It's based on the population. So if somebody scored 29, I want to check the distribution of people that scored, like, if it falls under normal distribution, we can actually use this normal dot distribution. So the first one is the range of what we want to check, followed by the mean, followed by the standard deviation. And this true value that I see here is actually telling us that, do we want to do a cumulative addition, or we want to do an independent addition? So that is like some functions in Excel. So some people say they can't hear me very well. Uh, can you hear me now? Yeah, you should be able to hear me now. Uh, Apologize for that. So let's quickly move on. Let's move on. So we have this. Okay. Excel add-ins for data analytics. Okay. Yeah, this is like the last slide that I have. So we'll look at this slide before like, we go back to Excel. Okay. Data entry. Oh, so this heading is not supposed to be data entry and formatting. Apart from Excel functions, we also have several tools that are used for statistics. We looked at the functions now. What about the tools that we use for statistics? So yeah, I said we are going to be discussing like the two major tools here. So this is how you can get the tool, because the tools are not readily available in Excel. So the steps to get the tools is to go to files, click on option. I'll be showing us right now when we move to like the hands-on session. So you click on option, use the under the option, you click on adding, you click on go actually. Then in the go, after clicking on go, a new dialog box will pop up. where you can check data analysis two pack. So if you check the two pack, it will allow you to be able to run some data analysis very quickly. So let us move to like the Excel sheet now, and we are going to be doing some statistics on the sheet. We'll be doing some statistics on the sheet. Okay. So if you have questions, you can drop them on the chat. If you have questions, you can drop them on the chat. Um, okay. So allow me to share my slide again. Yeah, so we are back in Excel, and I believe you can see my screen now. So this is the sheet I have duplicated to, and I want to delete everything that we have done in this sheet. So I want to delete this. I want to delete everything. So we are going to be doing some quick statistics under this sheet. So the first thing I want to do is that I want to do the average score for everyone. They've written like 5 subjects. I want to know their average, like what is their average score. So here I'll, I'll just write average, and so I want to use a formula to get their average, which is the mean score. So what would be the average of these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys? So the average now is equal to, remember, average, press tab. So my first number is here, which is from B2 to F2. So that's my range from B2 to F2. So I can close my bracket by press enter. See, it's flash fill it for me. So this is the average of like the whole exam that everyone has done. This is the average for the whole exam everyone has done. So this is the average. Now the next thing I want to do is that I want to round this average up. So let's round it up. So what can we call this? So what we'll do now is what can we call this? What can we call this? Let's call it can we call it, okay, let's call it average, then we'll put in into brackets something else. So average and then say R. So average R. So we have it as average R. Please permit me, I might not be able to, let me zoom in a bit. Might not be able to click and drag very well because my mouse is not behaving fine. So now I want to round up whatever value that is here. So I'll say equal to round up. So this is like us practicing. And today is the last day, of course. So we have to practice everything that we have learned all this while. So we have round up, and then I want to specify what should I round up. I want to round up whatever is here. And then the best way to reference is actually by clicking on it. So it's saying I've entered too many arguments. So let me specify it by myself and know why it is saying too many arguments. So I want you to round up. Okay, let me just Yeah, let me use round up. So I'll tell you why that has also happened. So round up G2, comma 0. Okay. So I have to put 0 to specify that I'm actually rounding it up to the nearest whole number. If I don't want to put 0, I can actually just say round. And let us see how that will behave. So let us do Ctrl Z. So let us try is equal to round and then say round this guy. Okay, so that's the normal. So round. So round this guy. So this also needs me to specify that I want 2 digits. So this round will not work for us. So let's use round up. Round up. So the difference is that round we round to the nearest tens or nearest thousands. Why round up we round to the nearest decimal place? So what the reason why I said we should try round is because I want to assume that you should be able to round up to the nearest 10 for me. But it's still telling me that it wants me to put in how many digits number I want. So if I actually put 2 there, it will round up to 2-digit number. But I've considered people that scored 0, I mean scored 100. So it means that it's going to round up their number. So that place is going to be error. We get so we just use round up, specify the number, and say 0 decimal place. So that works for us. So it's around 34.6 to 35. It's around 35.4 to 36. Well, it should be 35, not 36 actually. I just round up, and that is not like the kind of roundup that I want, but this is fine. You can still work with it. So the next thing we want to do is I want to grade. I want to give it a grade. And for this grade purpose, I'll be using, so what I want to do is that I want to grade you by what you score and give you maybe A, B, C, E, and F. So based on whatever you have scored. So I'll call this place grade. And how can I do that? How can I do that? Let me check the chat section. How can I do that? So if you know how I can do that, I want to check whatever you score and give you a particular grade. So somebody said logic. So if you scored this, I should give you this. So logic will work. That is if condition. So if probably your score is greater than 80, I should give you A. So I can specify multiple ifs. Yeah, multiple ifs can work. So if we only allow me to do one condition, so it means that I'll have to be writing for everybody. So if I use ifs, so it means we have learned in this class. So we can use ifs. So what other thing can we use? I'm trying to like use the simplest one for us. So what other function can we use apart from if? Apart from if, so one more response and then yeah, is there anything like IFF? I don't think there's IFF. We can't use IFF. So it's someone said we should use if and. That is multiple conditions. That's if we want to check like multiple columns. So we can say we can make the condition of multiple columns and then we use if. Yeah, or to will not work. That's like multiple columns. So you want to look at only one column, which is the average column. So so thank you everybody. Let's use we can actually use VLOOKUP. But I said I prefer XLOOKUP better than VLOOKUP. So we can use XLOOKUP. So this is how it's going to work. So the VLOOKUP actually look for a value within a table, and it will return a corresponding value from that table. X lookup, it look up for a value within a column or a row and return a corresponding value. And you remember, I had to put 0 after VLOOKUP to tell us that we should return the exact number. I don't know if you understand. So we are going to be doing that now. But before we do that, we need to like specify a criteria that will help us to judge. So we are going to be doing this together. So let us call these guys score. Let's call it criteria, and then we call this grade. So yeah, I want to say anybody that score um anybody that score from 0, give that person F. Anybody that score 30, give that person E. Anybody that score anybody that scores 45, give that person D. Anybody that scores 50, or let's say 55, give that person C. Anybody that scores 70, let's say 65, let's say 70, give that person B. And then anybody that scores 100, give that person A. So this is our, so if you score from 0 to 29, you get F, 0, 32, so you get 30 to 44, you get E. So this is our criteria. So we can write like X lookup. So the logic is this: lookup for these values in this array, look for it here. So it's not necessary you see exactly these values here, but you can look for the one that is smallest to it or bigger than it. I hope you understand the logic. So is it that we look for the one that is small to it or the one that is higher to it? So if you want to look for the ones that are smaller to it, we specify -1. If you want to look for this exact same value, we specify 0. And if you want to look for the ones that are smaller to it, bigger to it, we specify 1. So let us try this. Let us try this. So let's say equal to X lookup. So our lookup value now is, we are looking for these guys. So these guys now, I want to make them absolute because it's not going to change. And you know that this row here, I'll be dragging it down. For the X lookup, I'll drag it down. But if I drag it down and I make it relative, it means that this one will also be Oh, sorry guys, my network tripped off again. I'm really sorry. Let me share my screen back. Okay, we are here and we are. Can you see my screen now? I'm really sorry for. Uh, so somebody say we don't have X lookup, please. Okay, we can actually do this for X and V lookup. So let's try for X lookup first, and then we repeat the process for V lookup. So thank you about that. Somebody said, yeah, you really need to upgrade your Microsoft Office. That is important. And then, oh, somebody said sound is gone. So sound is gone because like my network was interrupted. So I'm back now. So let us try. Let me start again. So if we want to write the X lookup, so we have equal to X lookup and lookup value. So our lookup value, we have lookup value, lookup array, lookup return array. So our lookup value, the value we are actually looking up is 82. That's our lookup value. Remember when we're using X lookup, we have to like write the value outside first. So here we are looking for 82. So the logic is that if you don't see 82, you look for the number that is lower than 82. So that is the way we want to write the lookup. So the lookup value is 82, not like the way I was writing it before, it will work, but it's as if I want to write it somewhere else. So, and I'm not trying to make it dynamic where I'll be typing look for 82. So let us just specify the 82 here. So we look for 82. We look at it. Uh, so I want to make is like the logic that is following. Look for 82 here. So if I click this and I come down, so because this number is not changing, I want to make it absolute. So this goes like this. So look for 82, look for it here. And the logic is that, it's not going to find 82 here. So it's just going to look for, okay, the way we even specified our criteria is wrong. So it's just going to look for a number that is, so we can still get it, a number that is close to 82 and return it. So what do we want it to return? Look for 82, look for it here, return these grades. So it will return these corresponding values here. And this one too is not changing, so we can actually make it absolute. So we can make it absolute, so we can have this too. And then the next thing is that, remember, I'm not doing look for it exactly, but the next thing is if not found. So if not found, I want it to put no grade. Actually, nobody's going to get no grade. So, and then the next thing is the match mode. So the match mode here is that if you don't see 82, look for a number that is closer to 82. So I want it to be like scale it up. So I want to scale it up. The reason why I'm scaling it up is because 0 to 29. So from 0 to 29 is going to scale it up. I remember I said, if you want to scale it down, you use -1. If you want to return exactly the value, you use 0. If you want to scale it up, you use 1. If you want to use a white card, you use 2. So I'll use 1 to scale it up. If you check here, exact match or next larger item, that is to scale it up. So I'll close my bracket now and then I'll put enter. So you see that it has automatically given everything grade. So it has automatically given everything grade. I can come here and specify it to be center. So let me just make everything center so that we can see it very well. So for the person that scored 82, person has A. For the person that scored 80, A. The person that scored 21, E. So you can only score F when you score 0. So based on how we wrote our grade, because we actually scaled it up. So first you can only score, like we are supposed to input the minimum number to score F. So for it, okay, yeah, sorry everyone. Network has really been a bit of challenge. Back now. So I'll just share my screen and proceed. So yes, we are trying to like reconfigure the grading system. So let me just put 44 here. So this would be like, for you to have C, you have to score like 69. Oh, sorry. This 8 actually coming to like 70. And then this guy probably comes to like um this 70 now. So if you score 0, 2. Okay, yeah, I've just messed up with the grading system. Let me put this as 55 and then put this as 65. So for the guys so I'll just come back here and specify this as -1. Really? Yeah, I think we just messed with the whole grading system is actually what is wrong. So I'll just take it back to normal. So I'll just keep it back as normal. So let me just leave it the way it is like this. Okay, so that is how to like use the X lookup for the grading system. Now let us use the V lookup. So I'll just create another column here and call it V grade for the people that don't have the X lookup. So the V grade, now let's use the V lookup. So that will be equal to V lookup. What are we looking up? We are looking up A. We are actually looking up this value here. So I want to like specify it myself. So that would be J2. So we are looking up J2. So we are looking at J2. Remember, VLOOKUP wants us to specify a table range. So our table range is from, so I want to make it absolute to absolute A1, comma, not comma, A1 to J. So that's going to be absolute J what? J86, absolute 86. Because I already know the list data, my data is actually 86. But you can go ahead and use the shortcut key to like specify your data range. So I want to put comma. So what is the column index? Or what is the column index? So the column index to like look to look at the data from is actually L1. So this is, let me go and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be like, okay, yeah. So I'm quite not correct actually over there. So I'll just come here and I'll edit the formula now. So we are looking for 82, which is J lookup value is 82. So which is like H2. So let me edit the formula. Our lookup value is H2, not J2, comma, the table range. The table range is, this is the table we want to look for. I want to look for 82 in this table. So I'll specify my table range as $sign. That will be L3. So $3, column, another $sign. So my table range is from L3 to M9. So I'll put M, another $sign, and 9. So if you look for my value here, so what is the index of the column I want to return? The index of the column I want to return is 1, 2, 2. Then I can specify that I'm actually returning, I'm scaling it up. So let us see how that will behave. Oh, this is supposed to return the same number actually. So let me specify something else. So this is telling us that this guy scored 82 and it's giving me B. So let me specify -1. Let's see what's it return. It's returning B. Really? Well, -1 is actually to scale it up. So okay, let me return. Yeah. So that is where the difference comes in. If you look up does not do scale up or scale down. It does approximate. It approximates it. So 82 becomes 80, 21 becomes 20, and it does not take minus one. Yeah, it takes one and zero. So let me just do approximate it to true. That is one. And say true. It takes one and zero. It does not take minus one. So I'll still returning the same. Yeah, so this is actually, let me see how I can fix that. Because can't give, let me say, how false we do. First say not a number. That is definitely correct. So because you can't return, you can't see everything actually. So it tell me not available. Uh, and this is approximating it based on these guys, which is not what I want to do. So it's still the same thing. I want to see something else. So we see the reason why VLOOKUP is like way better than the formula is actually correct. It's based on approximation. You see the reason why VLOOKUP is like way better than VLOOKUP now. So what I would just need to do is to just like redefine this grade such that people that scored A, this formula is correct. We just need to like redefine the grade so that people that score A can actually get their A's, and the people that scored that did not score, like you actually get your grade according to your score. So that is like the grade. So quickly, I want to show us some statistics. So we've seen mean already. What if we want to look at, what if we want to see like, what can we see now? Let's look for standard deviation. So let's do standard deviation. Let's do it here. So I'll just call this column standard dev. So that's like a standard deviation. So I want to do standard deviation for each person. And then I'll come down here also. I'll do standard deviation for each subject. And then I'll do the standard deviation for the whole data. So let's just do standard deviation for each person. So that will be equal to standard dot dev and standard dev. Remember, we can actually specify, let me just use this. So it's actually not double D, single D. You can actually specify population P or sample S. So let's use sample. Standard deviation of what? Of from English to chemistry. Okay, it's actually from mathematics. So let us not make a mistake. So it is actually standard deviation from mathematics to chemistry. So we can actually make that work. So that return standard deviation for everybody. Like now, I want to specify two decimal places for this standard deviation. So there are two ways to do it. You can just select the whole column and reduce everything to, so that did not work. I know I actually. So you can reduce everything to like two decimal places. That's like easier. So another way is to use the round up function and specify two behind it. So this is like standard deviation for everybody. So let us go to, okay. Oh, okay, let us do one more thing before I go down. So let me just, okay, let's go down. Let's do standard deviation per subject. So here I want to come and say your average score per subject, like average score per subject first, because mean is actually important. So let's do mean. Mean. So I'm very conscious of the time now. Mean here, standard deviation here, and then what else can we do? Okay, you can actually try variance too. So you can have variance here. So the mean actually is average. So I'll show us something now. So what I want to do is average row and column. So I'll make it very, how would I call it now? I'll make the row absolute. I'll make the column absolute. I'll make the row. Oh yeah, I have to make the both relative if I want to drag it this way. So let me just do it like this. So I have to make the both relative. So I'll just do so I'll just do average, then average of what? Average of mathematics from this guy to this guy. So I'll close my brackets. So that was the average. Then I want to specify it in two decimal places. Look at this guy here. I click it. So it gives me two decimal places. So I'll click this and drag it across the row, not across the column, across the row. So let me just, my mouse is actually not dragged. So let me just do control to like a, yeah. So this is the reason why this is repeating itself is because it is absolute. So I don't want absolute. I'll just go and type in the formula myself. So I'll say B2 B2 to B86. Yes. So that when I drag it, it can do C2 to C86. And then when I drag it, it can do, sorry about my mouse, it can do, I can just copy it actually. Copy and paste. Really? So let me just do this. So this is like the average for each and everybody. You can just copy it and paste it. So I want to do standard deviation. So the standard deviation also goes like equal to standard dev for each subject. Standard dev dot sample, doing sample population, then B2 to B86. So that works. So if I enter, it's give me standard deviation. I want to come here and do two decimal places so that I can copy it and then I can paste it here. Then I can do variance, which is what variance dot sample B2 to B86 so that it will return variance for me. And then I can do this. Remember that variance is the square of standard deviation. I hope you remember. So you can see that that is the reason why we have it to be like that. So you don't be surprised that why is that number very big. So we can also quickly derive that the average variance for people in mathematics is 22. That's like, oh, the gap between like the highest and the person that scored the highest or the lowest, and the minimum number in the, like the common number in the class is 22. That is like, once we normalize everything, the variance is 22. So standard deviation rather. So variance is actually like a way to like highlight standard deviation. Like, when you square it, it becomes very big. I can see it. So that's the reason why we have variance. Standard deviation is to like normalize it. Standard variance is to highlight the gap that's between them. So let me copy this and paste it here and say, okay, this for this guys. So this is like variance, standard deviation, and all. So what else is left for us to do before we go to Excel add-ins? And okay, let's quickly go there. My time is almost up. So everybody, I hope you are with me. We are learning. So you can actually use population here too. So that's a good question. So if you change this to population now, doesn't stop the formula, but realize that this number has scaled up, like from 24, 4, 4, 484 to 478. Like there's a way statistician used to used to use population and sampling. Like the way I use sample, it returns the variance for me, but it returns variance based on sample data, meaning that it has selected some sample data and it has returned the standard deviation for me. But if since I specified population, it's using the whole of my data, the way it is exactly. So sample is like the normalized way, like is the most common one. Population is um to use the whole data, the entirety of the data plus error minus error. And I hope you understand, like you want to use your whole data plus outlier minus outlier plus everything, the way the data is, that's how you want it. But if you are working with a very large data set and you want to find the standard deviation and variance, it is very advisable that you use sampling. And the way Excel does the sampling is by using like random sampling method. So it does not really affect the data. I hope you understand. So let us quickly go to advanced like statistical tools. We've seen enough of statistical functions. So, but before that, I want to do correlation between English and maths, the way people field English and the way people field maths. Can we actually look at the correlation between them? Is there like any correlation between them? So I'll call this place correlation between English, let me just use between English and maths. So I'll come here and write it under it. So here we have correlates. So let me copy. So we know that English mathematics is on B and English is on C. So anyone we specify first, it works. So let's just specify math first. B2 to B86. So we can put comma, then we specify C2 to C86. So that's way. So here our correlation is 0.5, like approximately. By the time we approximate it, we see that we have 0.5. So which is not bad. It means that it is half. It's not exactly one. They are not going together. Well, it's above zero. So it means that the way people passed is very similar to the way people passed English is very similar to the way people passed maths. But it's not, suppose it's zero, it means that they are neutral. Like they don't go side by side. They don't go opposites. They don't go the same direction. They are just neutral. And suppose it is minus one or minus any number, you realize that it is opposite. Maybe the way people failed maths, people passed math and people failed English. That's like when you have a negative correlation. But since they are going positive direction, 0.5, realize that it has a positive correlation. So we can do all of this, all of this statistical in Excel. So if you look at your Excel statistical tools now, they are not readily available in Excel except we like activate them. So let me quickly show you how to activate the add-ins. So if you come here, if you come to insert here, you'll see, okay, I think I don't know, okay, yes. We come to insert here. You see this add-ins group, this add-in groups, it allows us to like add in other functions that we can use for data analysis. So if you click on get add-ins, you see like a lot of libraries. And these are like extensions that you can use for data. So here you can see data analytics. And under this data analytics, if you have like internet, it will load up. So you can see Microsoft Visual Data Visualizer. analytic solver, stock connectors, web layer, people graph. Like this one is good for visualization. Like there's a whole lot of this Bing map is very good for, like, it's the recommended one for visualizing location when it comes to Microsoft Excel. So there's a lot of add-ins. You just have to add. When you just add, it will automatically come under your inserts where you can actually use the tool in your Excel. So this is just like an export. So you can read more about Excel add-ins. But the ones that I'm going to be showing you today is from Excel, but it is just not readily available. But we need to activate it. So come to Files here, click on File. So when you click on File, you see this option at the bottom right corner. If you are getting me, let me see that you are following me in the chat area. So if you click on this option, another window will pop up. So do you see the window that popped up? Under this window, you see add-ins. So under this window, you see add-ins. So if you click on add-ins, you see a window pop up saying view and manage Microsoft Office add-ins. So any add-in that you have added from the first way that I explained, it will actually come here. You see it here. So you can specify the location where you want it to be. You can specify the name, however you want to specify it. So, but that is not our concern now. Our concern is we want to manage the one that Excel has, not the ones that we downloaded. Like manage Excel add-ins. Like this add-in we're about to add is from Excel. So we click on Go. So if you click on Go, it will bring add-in windows for you, like this option. You can see I already have analysis toolpath checked here. So for you, for some of you, you don't have it checked, and then some of you already have it checked. Just make sure that it is checked. Like you can check it and actually see it. So since it is checked, click on OK. So once you click on OK, so it's a screen will go. Now we can come to data tab. Under data tab, you now see analysis in this place. You see it here, data analysis tool under analysis group at the extreme corner of your ribbon. At the extreme corner of your ribbon. Are we together? So if you click on it, you see the various analysis tools that we can do, statistical analysis tools that we can do in Excel, like from analysis of variance, single factor, analysis of variance, two-factor replication, analysis of variance, two-factor without replication, correlation, covariance, descriptive statistics, histogram, Fourier series, F-squared test, Z-squared test, chi test, rank and percentile. Like basically all of this you can see you can see. So let us pick one. Let us pick rank and percentile and click OK. So when you pick rank and percentile and you click OK, it actually says what is your input range. So the input range is actually, let's select the average that we calculated as our input range. So the average is going to be G2. So we can say G2. So, oh, sorry, let me remove the dollar sign. Well, let me put the dollar sign. G2 to G86. I know the screen is very small. I don't know how to increase my window. So I'll have increased it, like zoom in on the window. I think Windows Plus does that. Yeah, that is too much. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me try and reduce it small. So let me see. Okay, so I think this is better. So here you can actually say S86. And then, oh, So group by, so that should be column, and then so the output range. No, we are not doing new workbook now. So let me just do output range. This is serious. So hold on for me. Let me see my data. Uh, so my output range should be this. I should specify where I want the results to be. So I'll specify it here M. So I'll do M2 to M86. And that should, let's see that. So it's saying rank and percentile output will overwrite existing data. Press OK. Let me see. Yep. So we can see, okay, there's a data there before. I don't know that we even have data on M2. So this is actually the rank, and this is actually the percentile. So this is the, so this rank now, okay, this is percentile, this is rank. So this, we can see like, that's a very good statistics. And I can use this to assign position. This rank can actually be used to assign position based on, okay, there are two types of rank actually in Excel. So this one is like, how do I put it now? There's a rank that it can repeat values, and there's a rank that it is unique. So the rank that it does here is that it allows values to be repeated. So, and that is why we have, because these are, and this is according to, okay. So this is actually funny. Yeah, but this is the percentile, and then this is the rank. So there's a lot of statistical descriptions that we can do with data analysis. Let's try one more. Let's try, data analysis. Let's do descriptive statistics. Yes. So descriptive statistics, let's input our range. So I'll be selecting it now. I want to select the whole of my data of my subject. So that is my, and then I want an output range. So I want my output range to be, oh, sorry, let me just specify my output range here. I want my output range on like this. Because I know it is descriptive statistics, let me just go. So I can specify from here to probably, let me say, yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm fine. So let's see. Okay. Saying I have to choose a statistical option. Summary statistics is fine. So this is summary statistics. And so what I want to show us about the summary statistics is that perhaps I guess I have not applied, okay, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. So this is mathematics, English, physics, biology, and chemistry. Yeah, but I wanted it to like do the summary statistics for the whole data, not by column. So this is what we have. So the mean for mathematics is this standard error actually. Is this, which is like still standard deviation. So we have the median, which is 89, we have the mode, we have the standard deviation. I guess you know the difference. My mouse is not working very well. I'm trying to drag so that we can see everything. This is sample variance. You see that even by default, the variance that Excel does for us is not population variance, it's sample variance. So we have kurtosis, and the skewness of these kurtosis and skewness is usually derived from plotting a graph. So we have the range, we have the minimum, we have the maximum, we have the sum, we have the count. So it's like present us with like a quick summary statistics. So a quick summary statistics of our whole data. So that is like the a way we can get a quick summary statistics without even writing any equal to open bracket and close brackets with just data analysis toolbar. Like you can see the list of the range of all statistical operations that we can do with these tools. And, and I really hope that if you as you continue to learn Excel, probably when you enroll on, oh, did I just close the whole worksheet? When you enroll on data camp and you learn, I really wish you success as you watch to learn ahead. And this will bring us to the end of introduction to Microsoft Excel and data science for like the first yeah, the first program, because this program is actually going to run for like 3 months, I guess. So thank you everybody for staying with us. I really appreciate that and I enjoyed being your facilitator. Thank you, everyone. So don't worry, the slides will be shared to you, the data will be available, and the videos is being recorded, so you can always go through it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Alam. Please, can we give Olamide, with your favorite emoji? Let's appreciate Olamide. So he has actually done very well since Monday to now. He has been facilitating and dedicating a lot of time to making sure that you have the best. So thank you very much, Olamide. Now, so a quick one. Let me take you through the next step. What is next after this? This is the last class for this phase, and then there are some things, some requirements that you need to meet. I want to reiterate that so that you can all be aware. Now, we'll be onboarded. The participants will be onboarded onto data camp, and it's not everybody. It's just those that are able to meet up with 80% attendance, 80% assessment submission, active DSN member, at least with your DSN membership ID. And also added advantage is if you're able to share this on your experience on social media, mentioning data science Nigeria, and then also hashtagging AI every day. Hashtagging AI every day. So this is how you write your AI every day hashtag. Every day. So don't forget, it is very, very important. Good. So you need to stay glued to your email because only those who qualify will be sent an email for the next step to join the next stage of this program. It's only those who qualified and meet the criteria that I earlier listed: 80% attendance, 80% assessment submission, your being a member of DSN with your membership ID, and then also you're sharing what you have learned, what you can call your success story on social media, what you have learned for the past 5 days on social media, tagging mention DSM, and tagging AI every day, AI every day. So just tagging AI every day, as you can see on the chart. Good. Uh, so stay glued to your email. Also, your WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp group is very important. So in case of those of us that receive spam, receive the email as spam. So make sure you are always available on the WhatsApp group to get necessary information. Now, because of our Muslim brothers that are not that could not join the the training today, very well, we have extended the attendance submission deadline by 30 minutes. Okay, so the prayer should be between 1 and 2. Okay, and then we expect them to join after 2 to then. So we just extend it for 30 minutes just to give an allowance for them to submit their attendance. And also because of them, the deadline for submission has also been extended to Sunday. So ordinarily supposed to be tomorrow, which is Saturday, but so that they can have time to watch the recordings and then also attempt the assessment. And that's why we have extended it to Sunday afternoon by 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon by 2 p.m. So please, let's keep this to mind. I want to congratulate every one of us that stayed to the end. I'm very sure that some of us, I think some faces are familiar who has been consistent and be joining this training for the past 5 days. Please, I want you to celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate yourself. Please, with your favorite emoji, I want to celebrate yourself on the chat room. Just celebrate yourself. Use the celebration emoji, the power emoji, the fire emoji, the clap emoji to celebrate yourself. You have actually done very well. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You have done very, very well. Okay, so the next cohort, okay, we are going to meet again. Yes, we are going to meet again. So do take care of yourself and see you subsequently. Yeah. Subsequently. Okay, well, bye. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Inclusion, accountability, fairness, and responsiveness of AI models.
My expectation for this workshop basically is to learn, some of the best practices as regards, the AI system.
How to use AI, that's artificial intelligence, to strategize into what I do, which is data science.
If you're trying to deploy a system across, let's say, different geographies, then you don't just want to rely on historic data for a part.
AI is now in our faces. It's something that we now use daily. So it means that even as a user, you have to be responsible.
I'm trying to start this my new journey with DSN. I'm hoping that I start on a very great level.
How you use AI also matters. Are you using the AI for what it's meant to be used for?
Built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the winner is DSN Data Science Nigeria.
On me, so stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions.
Congratulations, DSN, on winning the AI ML Excellence Awards and the AOT 5.0 Awards. We all want to say congratulations!
For the champions, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go.
Congratulations! Congratulations, DSN.
It's just like that.
Congratulations, DSN.
Have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, look, can't you see? I'm on the move, make way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. myself,
Congratulations to DSN.
fall down. I have to pick myself back up. Back up, and when I fall down, I have to pick. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.